Sponsored by Catchpoint, the leader in digital experience management.
Hi, I'm Chris Lopez, Tech Marketing Engineer for Catchpoint. Today, we're going to go over how to monitor and test your Secure Web Gateway rollout by using data from our endpoint clients. Secure Web Gateways like Zscaler, ForcePoint, and Netskope are designed to replace traditional network perimeters in the context of securing your employees and corporate resources against potential threats. By nature, these solutions are software-based, with most of them being installed on your employees' devices directly. But one thing people don't consider is how these solutions can introduce routing issues into already complex and erratic environments. In some cases, secure web gateways can redirect traffic in a way that's not transparent to your user or your network team until it occurs. Troubleshooting issues like these on a case-by-case basis creates a lot of toil and overhead that you could otherwise avoid. Fortunately, Catchpoint has the largest and most effective synthetic node network in the world, and an endpoint client that'll help you pull live, actionable metrics from your users. So over the course of this video, we're going to cover what secure web gateways are and how they'll interact with your employees' devices, what our endpoint client looks like, and how it's going to help you monitor and troubleshoot your employees' devices, and finally, how to test your secure web gateway rollout inside of Catchpoint. Let's hop in.
The principles of network security didn't change overnight, but our recent transition to a remote workforce has dismantled traditional ideas of how we secure our perimeter. I mean, what is the perimeter when employees and business resources aren't in one place anymore? So to this end, secure web gateways emerge, and suddenly we have the tools to define that perimeter. It's now in this software that gets deployed on whatever external devices we need to protect. All the traffic that my employees are going to generate, whether it's towards the public internet or to cloud and corporate resources, needs to hit the secure web gateway first. But here's where some performance issues start to emerge. Say I'm in Brazil, for example, and my default Zscaler node is the one in Sao Paulo. Well, that's one of the biggest cities in the world. And at peak hours, that node is likely going to be 99% saturated. I'm going to frequently end up in a bottleneck with disruptive amounts of latency and packet loss and no clear way to troubleshoot it from my end. How exactly would you know what the issue is if you're on the line with your ISP and they don't report any issues across the parts of the network that they're responsible for? Similarly, if an employee is reporting a network issue after implementing a secure web gateway, how are you going to troubleshoot it if you don't have visibility over the critical path? Well, the answer here lies with endpoint monitoring. If you have visibility directly from the user having issues, you can quickly separate device, local, and WAN level issues. Catchpoint's endpoint monitoring can analyze a wide range of web browsing metrics, including local Wi-Fi strength and quality, how long it takes services to allow user interaction, and the path between the endpoint and the monitored service. Let's take a look in the software. Here we are on the Catchpoint SaaS platform. I'm in a dashboard designed to compare network metrics between regular endpoints and endpoints that are using a secure web gateway. We'll take a look at the major widgets on display here, and then we'll analyze some existing tests and endpoints using our Smartboard feature. Up top, we're testing some basic web metrics between our two groups. On the left, we're comparing ICMP latency and packet loss, which look like they're on par with one another. On the right, we can see the HTTP response for our direct internet access nodes is about twice as fast than our nodes that have VPNs and secure web gateways enabled. In the middle, you can see all of our endpoint data is overlaid onto this geographic widget here, and if a user's performance begins flagging, then we'll be alerted to it immediately. I can see that we have an endpoint in Florida that's taking almost 3 seconds to respond, which indicates to me that my end users out there probably need help. I should also check which group this belongs to. Coming back to my Brazil example, if my users are experiencing congestion on their default secure web gateway configuration, that'd be a clear indication that I should have it route to a different location. Below, we have scatter plots of our most recent traceroute and HTTP tests for both groups. And I can dive into individual test results here, while also seeing that the secure web gateway group was performing a little bit worse overall. While some added latency is to be expected, I'd want to check in on the outliers here, especially since they're taking over a second to complete. It's important to have the aggregated result for both groups, as well as individual experiences. Finally, I can look at some important web browsing metrics for specific application tests I've been running. While I'm only seeing a few fields here in the widget, like DNS, average connect time, wait, load, and test response, I can dive into the smartboard for any of these tests if I need a better look. Inside the smartboard for the Zoom test, I'll have a better idea of how each endpoint was performing. Right now, I'm sorting by test time, but I'm going to go ahead and change that to ISP. You'll notice that the ISP reflects the secure web gateway currently active on the endpoint. In this case, we're comparing Cloudflare Warp, T-Mobile, Verizon Fios, and Zscaler for this test. I'm going to change the view to test data. And I can actually do a breakdown by endpoint or more macro-level geographic filters. The amount of data Catchpoint pulls from these tests is immense, so however you need to analyze your endpoints, Catchpoint has you covered. Finally, I'll take a look at a specific endpoint here and how it's been performing across each of these tests. You can see Catchpoint has a few summary scores and insights here for user experience, endpoint, network, and application health. If I want to take a look at my user's critical path, all I need to do is switch to the Network tab. And I'll have the results of a few other tests and also be able to trace his hop-by-hop path towards whichever applications he was trying to reach. From here, I have the entire scope of my user and their digital experience with my company applications and secure web gateways. I'll be able to quickly identify anything that goes wrong on their end and see trends across my endpoint groups that will inform future network policies and providers. And with that, you've seen how to use Catchpoint to monitor your secure web gateways. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.
Sponsored by Catchpoint, the leader in digital experience management.